There we go. I forgot to unmute. Big brain on campus. Alright guys, so we're back with a standard week. Standard week. It's been a while. Feels like it's been a while without something limited in the pool. So, it's nice. Now, I cannot remember for the life of me if the Sengoku Estrea that's currently in the game is the same that we have in the build blueprints. Let me check that real quick, because I just want to make sure that it's going to be under event. Should be, no? It should be. It's a build project. Yeah, there it is. Nope, it's completely new. Lovely. All right, I just wanted to confirm that before we got into the meat and potatoes. So, as always, we're going to do the event suit. We're going to do the gacha suit. We're going to do the pilots. Let me turn this on real quick. Oh, blinding. Anyways. The lighting helps the camera actually keep up, I've noticed, so I do use it. I think it's a little bright for this hour. Oh, there we go. That's nicer. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so we're going to do the normal route, then we'll hit up the new Sengoku. We'll go from there. So, yeah, this episode of Impressions brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, right? I don't even know how many people are going to tune in to watch because it's a standard week. Who cares? Okay, so let's pop on down to the FSWS coin and look at the full armor. Alright, what do we got here? Heavy Armor Federation. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to bring my microphone a little closer. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. With speed attribute, shooting damage output boosted by a flat number. Useless. Heavy Armor Federation. Heavy armor has become very nice for shot machines, but it's not the most common tag, at least on parts that you would typically put on a shot machine. So, Federation, which is, if I remember correctly, also, yep, it's got shot attack and shot defense. So two really good shooter tags here. Could definitely put these as like a sub-slot thing, because you get your shot attack, you get your shot defense. You would kind of pick between them, as your two primary tags would be Ace Exclusive and Commander. So this is kind of like a supplementary to get you that third ideal tag, if that's your jam. Would this be used on machine gun weapon? The thing is, I fire a beam rifle, I'm gonna do 4K. I shoot a, close range SMG, I'm gonna do like 100. The time it takes me to do the same damage with the SMG as it does with my beam rifle, 20 damage ain't gonna do diddly at the end of it. Stat-wise, really nothing amazing. It is a welfare after all. For welfares, it's kind of at the mid-range for stats, for shooting. Or so. Yeah, if it increased it by a larger amount, it might be useful. Or if this was before, alteration and stuff, it might be useful. But the numbers that we're hitting now, 20 damage is nothing. Putting it very nicely. Okay. Shoulder 6-barrel missile launcher. Attack enemies, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Actually, what are the ratings? Yeah, C-, A-. No, thank you. Numbers. That's actually even on the lower end for welfares, so that's a thing. Heavy Armor and Federation show up again. Really, this seems to be kind of a tag suit so far. Nothing really great about it. Double Barrel Beam Rifle, A-, D. Wow. Useless. Heavy Armor 4 base. Numbers wise, it does actually have a decent amount of shot attack for a welfare. I will give it that. Shot attack is relatively high. Obviously, its melee is garbage because, it's a shot machine. So, alright. But yeah, really so far, just tag suit. Leg missiles, A-, C-. Wow. Heavy Armor 4 base. I don't like the 4 base tag. Number wise, nothing to write home about in the stat department. It's like midline at best, even for a welfare. And the backpack. 360mm rocket cannon, BD. Look at that. Finally something that is not C- power. Unfortunately, it is a non-cutscene shot. This has the potential to be decent at best, but considering that there's a lot more available that's better than decent at worst, I'm not really feeling it here. Heavy Armor Federation again, and the numbers. Oh yeah, it has relatively high shot attack for a welfare. I'll give it props on that. So the arms and the backpack for a welfare have higher than average shot attack. Everything else is pretty much midline average for welfare, and pretty much all the EX skills are a write-off. What fun this is! All right, what else do we got in here? We got another cost minus 100 items. Speed, close combat, Zaku type base exclusive, amphibious, and 4 urban. Not a bad spread, I guess. Okay. And we have the Pale Rider, the T Gundam, and Shenlong. They forgot the spaces. What are they doing? Anyways, so let's. Oh no, I wanted to click gacha, not you. Capsule. Yeah, just pretty much get it for your collection. There's really no other reason for it. Okay, well, let's look at the Estrea Type F and see what the sucker brings. Shot damage raised 10%, EX skill power boost. This is a standard suit, right? This is typically the EX numbers and traits you'd expect to see on like a Sokai. Nice. High mobility, close combat, raise your melee attack, raise your melee attack and melee defense. Look at that, cooking with fire. Numbers, we are looking, oh, that's a decent mod. That's gonna, yeah, just 1400 melee attack on the head. Or a standard pick ticket part. After 4 weeks, remember, as of, I think it was halfway through December, they announced that standard suit, actually it was the Matsu Gold Frame Matsumina, so RE Tuamatu, that patch, they said it's going to take 4 weeks for standard suits to show up. So next week, the RE Tuamatu should be in the exchange shop. 4 weeks after this event ends, this will be available in the exchange shop. So you're going to have to wait a little bit if you're not going to roll. It's for a pickable part. The numbers are good, frankly. The trait's really, really good. Word tags are definitely good for melee, and the numbers are good too for something that's not limited. NGN Bazooka and GN Launcher. Interesting they put it in the torso. Hold bazookas in both hands and fire high power rounds. Okay, B plus D. This is like dual cascade, pretty much, isn't it? High mobility pro tag. Well, there you go. The best melee tag there, the 10% boost, not bad. High mobility gives you that extra melee boost as well. Nice numbers wise, you're looking at 1700, 1800 melee attack, which is really nice. Yeah. For a standard suit, it's looking pretty dope. GN hand missile and proto GN sword, B plus B minus. This is a little debatable here. It is a physical melee, and it does seem to be kind of a wombo combo of dash in, or maybe not dash in, do some melee, and then fire hand missiles. B minus power. It's not a cutscene. I'm kind of worried about how actually useful it's going to be, because it's going to lock you into an animation. If it was just a ranged skill, like a physical shot or something, at least we know what to expect, and as then we could assume it's going to be something long range, like the Yeet Shield, but it's not. So from what I'm seeing here, this is probably going to be a little more danger than what we would want from an EX skill, but potency, B minus. Meh. Stat-wise, 4431 melee attack, Twitch 5, so pretty much almost 5k melee attack. Not bad. High mobility pro tag again, so really the only thing on here that's not, like, good is the EX skill, which is saying something about a standard suit. He ain't Falco. That ain't Falco. Pulverize the enemy with your hammer. Raise your melee defense by 29%. B plus D. So, numbers-wise, it looks like it could potentially do some damage, but as it's not a cutscene, this looks like one of those animation lock melee skills, which I don't like very much. Melee defense boost, personally, I don't think that's very useful. So this is going to be kind of a, one and done. You use it, you're not really using it for buffs or anything extra. Yeah. I guess it really depends on the animation for this, frankly, whether or not I think it's any good. It does have the B plus power at least, but it really depends on the animation. High mobility Gundam type. Gundam type, not the most useful thing for melee builds. High mobility, yeah, okay. Numbers wise, you're looking at about 1700, 1800 melee attack. For a pair of legs in the standard pool, that's pretty damn good. Backpack. Oh, there's our Trans Am. Shot. Why did it have to be shot attack? You're clearly a melee machine, dude. Dude. What is this? What is this? God. Raise your speed, raise your shot attack, raise your beam resist. If this was a shot machine, that'd be pretty great, but it's a melee machine. It's pretty not great. I don't get it. I just work here. High mobility, close combat. Well, tags are definitely functional for melee builds. Nice. Stat-wise, wow, you're looking at 1700, 1800 melee attack again. Why did they give you a shot-based Trans Am? I don't think I'll ever truly understand the devs behind this game. Some 4D moves here. Great backpack. Sans the skill. Good thing there's a dime a dozen other Trans Ams available. Only a few of them boost your melee, but, yeah, whatever. While close combat, melee power boosted. Very easy to get close combat. Very, very easy to get close combat. High mobility and close combat. Wow, look at this. Almost like it's easy. Numbers wise, wow, it actually breaks 10k as a standard weapon. Not bad. I'm really surprised that you weren't a Sokai suit, frankly. Okay. That's a thing. Yes, I do like this weapon. The interesting part too is it's the flail type, the whip. So when you use it, you get a humongous AoE for your attack. If you've ever used a whip weapon before or had it used against you, it can be a real pain in the ass because it's got a huge range on it. And, most of the time it'll stagger. So, yeah. Okay, nice weapon. Let's move right along to the GN Launcher. Yeehaw. After 20 seconds pass, EX skill power boosted. So this is kind of one of those, So, easiest way to put this. When you use this trait, even though it gives you the EX skill power boost, you are forced to wait 20 seconds. So this may be useful on maps like multi-mission, where typically you're running the map for 25-30 seconds or so because the enemy has phases that you have to work down to. This might be useful. It might be useful in certain stages like Inferno, if that ever comes back, where you may take, 25-30 seconds to kill the mooks leading to the boss. It might be useful in specific battle circuit laps where, you kind of time it out a little bit to let an EX skill charge up because you can't really min-max that much in battle circuit. But that would be kind of the scope I see. I don't really see this being used in arena, as you want to fire off your EX skills literally as quick as you can. So waiting 20 seconds is kind of off the table. It's not going to be that useful. Yeah. So in terms of endgame, it's going to be useful in everything except arena. So take that as you will. There are better options available for this slot though that boost your EX skill damage without this weird timed caveat, so you do you. I don't know if it's available in the gun slot though in the pickable territory. Probably, but yeah. Event suits for an alteration, of course. Okay. 2-hour stream. Go. Yay, just what I wanted. Okay, high mobility pro tag, numbers wise. Wow, that's not a lot of shot damage. High mobility pro tag. So this is definitely not something you're going to be slotting in the front on a shot machine, but it may be useful on a melee build or in the back slot of a shot machine, depending on what you want as your trait. Numbers are really bad. Okay, GN beam rifle. Are you even trying? Why does your melee break 10k and your weapons can't even do 6? What kind of training wheel crap is this? When melee attack is over 5k, enemy melee power reduced. Okay, that's a nice trait for a support suit. High mobility pro tag. Okay, well that has a lot of places it can fit in. The trait I think would be spectacular on a support suit, as reducing the enemy melee power means everything, even EX skills that are melee get nuked. So nice. Wouldn't put that on a main suit though. The GN hand missile. Yeah. With power attribute, EX skill CD reduced. Very easy to get power. That's a very convenient trait. Not bad. High mobility Gundam type. Tags are workable. Numbers are, well, they're hot trash. So this is something you'd really pick up primarily for the trait, potentially the tags. Nice trait. And you know, because it's in the pick ticket pool, lots of flexibility. And the GN shield, infighter job, buff EX skill time up. I've said multiple times, I don't think this is the best use of a trait slot. I much rather personally use something like an EX skill power boost or a actual cooldown reduction, you know, something like that, versus increasing the uptime of a buff, because typically your buffs are running even after the match has ended. High mobility Gundam type, numbers wise, that's going to be shifting over what? 11? About 11-ish? So 1100 melee attack, about 300 shot. Numbers wise, not that bad, but there is better in the 4-star. Is there better in the 4-star pick ticket pool? I think looking at it from a macro scale, yes. I'm not terribly sure about numbers wise, because yeah, the numbers on shields can be kind of wanky sometimes, but yeah, not a bad shield. It's definitely not a bad shield. Okay. So overall, the Estrea is a very solid melee suit. Its core frame parts bring a ton of melee attack to the table. Definitely some very healthy traits on there. The EX skills leave a lot wanting. I'm surprised it doesn't have a cutscene EX, frankly. Yeah, as for the weapons, the flail I think is really, really nice. The rest of it's kind of provisionary. Some of the weapons can be really nice when sub-slotted, but again, it's a very situational kind. So, let's look at our pilots. We'll start with Carta Issue. With speed attribute, 28% chance not to recoil. That's a 100% chance to not make me want to roll you. Long shooter, stats garbage. Commander 4 Tundra. Literally the only saving grace is she has the commander tag. That is the single thing on here that makes me do it like another look and go, hey, maybe. Man. Or 3 stars. A lot of man points lost during that cup. Hey man, I gotta stir my drink. I'm not about to drink like a barbarian with it unmixed. Shit's good, but it's only good if you stir it. With power attribute, EX skill piercing boosted. I've said this multiple times, I personally don't think EX skill pierce boosting is really that great. It depends player to player. Some people will say it's the best thing since sliced bread, and whatever. I don't like it, other people do. You make your own decision. Federation, mid-range. Federation, great for shot machines. Mid-range, okay for shot machines. It definitely gives you that shot attack 5%. And as I've said multiple times, just in case somebody hasn't tuned into the last handful of streams, so I've talked about this, the overall multiplier, if you're looking to absolutely min-max your word tags with the rebalance, because a shot attack 5% boost and a shot defense 5% boost, right? You're only going to get 30% of the 5% shot defense carried over into your primary stat. So at the end of the day, if you don't min-max your tags and you get one that just gives you shot attack 5% versus shot attack 5 and shot defense 5, you're only losing about 1.2% of your total shot from that, which is like nothing at the end of the day. So yeah, keep that in mind depending on how much you want to min-max. Mid shooter, definitely flexible, usable in a lot of stuff. Shot attack, 1900, so that's just under the 2k. So that's going to be what? He's like 1400 base or something like that. Not bad, not great. He's okay. Decent tags, don't really like the trait. The numbers are okay enough. So I'd probably backslot him. I wouldn't put him in the front though. There's better numbers available. Does EX skill piercing matter? So pretty much all EX skill piercing does, to my knowledge, is it applies a certain amount of ignorance is such a weird word, but it's the only one that properly fits in that sentence I created. Anyways, it allows you to ignore a certain degree of the enemy's defense when you're using an EX skill. So if I'm using a physical shot and I fire it at somebody, the EX skill piercing value will determine how much of their shot defense / shot resist that I ignore, and then it goes into whatever formula they have in their black magic calculator. That's my understanding of it. So it's something that really, really works when the enemy has a stupidly high defense, but outside of that, it's practically worthless because it's a percent-based drop, not a flat drop. Meaning, if someone has a very, very high ceiling and you cut 30% off, they lose a ton. If someone has a very low ceiling, they lose very little. Right? That's how percents work. So percents are a much easier way to math something out because it gives you more of an absolute like guarantee of something. Flat numbers are nice, but then you lose a lot of oomph factor, which you can see from the welfare. You know, shooting damage output boosted by 20. Nothing. Because your damage is probably already going to be like barely affected by this at all. 20 means nothing. If there's 20%, that'd be a much larger modification to it. But it's gone off topic. So we've looked over the welfare and all the gacha stuff. So let's take a look at that build project. The new Sengoku. Goes in the same order every time. Storm, are you trying to tell me that I'm predictable? Because you're right. You know what? We'll just start from the top here because they added a whole bunch of stuff. So the Hyaku Shiki. I think the beam rifle on this was something. Yeah. When attacking with beam, EX skill power boosted. That's a very nice trait, honestly, because there's a ton of very powerful beam EX skills in the game, and this gives you a very nice boost when you use them. For a welfare, I like it. Tall Geese 2, Gujin. I think it was really just the Hyakushiki gun that I liked out of all these. There's probably like good stuff in there still, but that's all I remember being good with it. So. Skip event store welfares and go to Alteration. I simply refuse, sir. I refuse your good intentions. Pale Rider. I don't recall anything really amazing with Pale Rider. Gundam. The attribute change. Is that the attribute? This should be the attribute change, right? I can't remember anymore. I don't think it is. I think this is the original. Because the attribute change was power, wasn't it? How many creams and sugars you put in your coffee? None. I hate coffee. I hate it with a passion. I've actually never liked the flavor of it. So I try to not drink coffee as much as I can. The few times I do is like when I absolutely need to stay conscious. The T is OG. Alright, cool. Someone said legs and backpack were good. Leg-mounted rocket launcher. Okay, B plus D, so it's pretty much like the Dynamese GN missiles, except, you know, decent power. And, you know, if the Dynamese legs had good power, they'd be really scary. Homing and everything, but okay. Okay, I can see that. That's definitely kind of like a pinch hitter. And backpack, 180mm cannon, A minus D. Alright, that looks pretty neat. Even though it locks you into an animation, it's a ranged one, meaning there's a lot of flexibility. Okay, Mana, I see what you were talking about. I see you. I see you. Yeah, if you don't really like anything else in the pool, those are definitely viable options to get a nice pocket EX skill for yourself. Sorry, Miguel. I don't know. I know a lot of people enjoy coffee. I just don't like it, man. Maybe it's because I've never had a good cup of coffee. Couldn't tell you. I just know that out of all the coffee I've ever had in my life, not a single cup has been like, oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, you know? You know, the original Gundam, the only thing that I recall that was any good with it was last shooting on the beam rifle. Oh yeah, there's this too, with saber category equipped, melee power boosted. Sabers are a dime a dozen in this game. Like, they are very, very common, especially in the higher end of the weapons. And getting a melee power boost because of it, 10 out of 10. No complaints there. Arms. Come on. You can do it, little phone. With technique attribute, melee damage taken reduced by a flat number. That's garbage. The word tag's on the entire suit though, aren't I? With technique attribute, mid-shot attack raise. Nope, because that only affects your neutrals. And Shenlong. I don't remember anything about the Shenlong, which means there's probably nothing good with it. Okay. And let's look at the new Sengoku Estrea, shall we? With power attribute, initial EX skill charge boosted. Very easy to get power, that's a nice trait. I know a lot of people have been giving me crap because I always say, you know, initial EX is really, really good. And like, no, you just want general EX cooldown. To me, they're interchangeable. But I understand where people are coming from. Because typically, you'd be under the impression that in a multi-mission or something, you'd use an EX skill multiple times. I went and talked to some people about that, and from what I've gathered, typically, in a multi-mission, even the really like powerful ones, an optimized team only needs to cycle through their EX skills once. Meaning a general cooldown reduction really isn't necessary, initial's more than sufficient. It seems like the more optimized you get, the less you care about whether it's initial or normal EX skill cooldown because they both serve the same end goal, because you don't typically cycle. I don't know, it was just a weird little thing that I kind of heard, so. Anyways, I like initial EX skill charge. It does only work, obviously, for the first cooldown. Once you've used your skill, this won't take effect anymore. So that's the argument as to why normal EX skill cooldown is better, as it gives more flexibility. It also works very well for magazine skills, as you reduce the cooldowns of those, because, you know, initial will only work for your first shot, which typically is instantaneous. So yeah. So, high mobility, high firepower, okay. Melee attack, shot defense, melee attack, shot attack. Interesting. Numbers. So, melee-wise, it actually has about the same as the Estrea Type F head. So you're looking at a suit that, in my opinion, has a pretty good trait, right, in the build project pool. But the one that's in the gacha that we can pick with a ticket later is better. because not only is it something you can just pick from the pool, but it has more or less the exact same numbers behind it offensively, and the trait, I think, just hits a lot harder because it has a higher multiplier on it, because initial skill cooldown can only go so high. This is very interesting. The highest EX skill cooldown before this suit was 80, now it's 100. Yeah, I'm honestly, like, I keep seeing these videos coming out where, you know, people have EX skill cooldowns practically like 0 and they just spam them over and over again. It's just a matter of time, frankly. Now we just need to rely on the AI to use them. So honestly, the head's not bad. I just think that there's a lot of availability with the head selection. The initial skill cooldown is nice. You could yeah, okay, so that's not showing on my... Okay, you guys can't see this because for whatever godforsaken reason, it's only happening on my monitor. It's not happening in my preview window. But I have my phone. It's not actually streaming by cable or anything. It's streaming wirelessly to an application I have running on my desktop. On my desktop, it's ghosting. This suit is spinning around and it has like multiple like shadows of it rotating around with it. And I was looking like, what the hell is going on? And I look at my stream and there's none of this flickering going on. So your boy is hella confused. But okay, let's continue. There's some weird shit going on in this town, man. I should call Archie and his gang, Christ. With dual sabers category equipped, melee power boosted. Very easy to get dual blades. We have a lot of options for that now. And the melee power boost, very nice. High mobility, close combat, both very functional tags for melee builds. And ooh, the numbers are beefy on this boy. Ooh. We're looking at what, 2600 melee attack? The boy is beefy. Hits like a truck. I like that. I like that torso. The boy's got a well-developed chest. Samurai Sword. A Pierce B- power. Gather particles on your blade to launch an arc shockwave. Look at that. We got another ranged melee EX skill. That is... I love it. So if I'm reading this right, you just kind of swing your sword and a beam goes flying out. We're the Saber class from Fate now, boys. And it's on a very small cooldown, as it's not a cutscene. It will lock you to an animation, though. So I think really how viable this is will boil down to how long that animation is. If it has a very, like, okay, for example, if it's like the Gundam X, its backpack, where it takes forever to charge it and fire it off, and during that time you get hit and it just kills the EX skill on you. If that's what this is like, But if it's something more akin to, you know, like maybe a 0.5 to a 0.8 second animation before it fires off the attack, hey man, that's great for me. So I think this will literally boil down to the animation involved in firing off the skill. You know, numbers-wise, what are we looking at here? 4576 melee, 1847 melee defense, 6. So 5100 melee attack on the arms is really good. And fully modified, you're easily going to be pushing almost 10k melee attack on the arms. So honestly, there's no complaints here. The word tags are healthy. That EX skill potentially be very good. Now see, that's the other thing too, right? Even though it has B- power, whether or not this can be alterated doesn't matter. It probably can be, but regardless. The fact that it gives you another ranged melee EX option on a super low cooldown, very nice, in my opinion. Okay. Nice arms. So great torso, great arms. I'm still kind of on the fence about the head. The trait on the head I think is nice. It might fill that void if you're looking for like a full cooldown suit. But beyond that, there's even the Estrea Type F I think brings better overall. If you're looking for a very specific niche, like you are looking to just get 100% cooldown reduction or whatever, you may want to pick up the head. When attacking with physical, EX skill power boosted. Now that's just a giant friggin' troll, this here is. So the arm EX skill is considered a beam melee. And then its legs boost friggin' physical. Bruh. It's like the Estrea type F back. What are you doing? Absolutely brutal. He savaged himself, boys. Overall, though, it is very easy to find a lot of physical EX skills, whether you're on shooter or whether you're on melee. So this is something that can be effectively used on either suit. Trait-wise. Numbers-wise, what are we looking at here? 820 shot attack, 10, so you're looking at just over 1k shot attack, which really isn't going to pay the bills. Numbers-wise, for melee, you're looking at about 1900, which is very nice for a pair of legs. Okay, high firepower, close combat. So yeah, if you are going to want this trait on a shooter, I would say find another part, as it doesn't bring the stats you want for a shooter. It brings one tag that's very, very easy to find, high firepower. So you would probably, like, due to the investment you have to make for this build project, I don't believe that these legs are at all suitable for really shot machines, only for melee. And really in that scenario, I would argue that there's even better, like, kind of available for us. If you're a collector, get it. Otherwise, I really don't, like, this is, I'm not really a fan of this one. Like, it's a good trait. They're good numbers, good tags, only for melee. Yeah. Man, that's just like, if that was just a general EX skill power boost, that'd be so much better. So much better. Definitely good for melee, but yeah. The Destiny Erendite. The Destiny Erendite is beam. Shot beam, mind you. Or beam shot. Particle Phage Jin, DA. Get your melee attack boost, melee defense boost. A power, D pierce. Wow, it looks... Now, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but this looks very familiar. Hey, Sukia, what's up, man? High mobility, close combat, no complaints, and numbers-wise, 2500 melee attack on the backpack. Yeah, purely numbers-wise, this thing is an absolute beast for melee builds, a lot like the Shining Gundam before it, but I think the Shining Gundam in general was just better because it brought better numbers, traits, and everything on top of, like, top-tier tags. Because Mobile Fighter is very difficult to get our hands on, considering, for primary parts anyways. It's not too difficult to subslot because of all of the G-Fighter events we've had. And the Mobile Fighter tag now gives 10% melee attack, so... While high mobility melee power boosted, it's not hard to activate high mobility, and it does give you melee attack when you activate it, so it does feed into itself. Arguably, I find that nice. You know, that's cool. Numbers, what are we looking at? Breaks 10k barely. Not bad. High mobility, high firepower overall. I'd say it's definitely a nice part. Definitely a nice part. As long as when alterated the numbers go higher, I'd say this is pretty. We'll have to wait to see. And don't spoil me, if you can help it. Is the population for this game healthy? Well, considering I'm technically a small-time YouTuber and I'm getting anywhere between 130 to 200 viewers on these streams, I'd say, yeah, there's a pretty healthy community here, and that's not counting the Discords, the subreddit, and the people that don't participate in those communities. And don't forget, there is also the Japanese server, which, to my knowledge, from what I understand, is quite populated as well, as this is definitely a popular series overseas. So, overall, it has a healthy community. It's not something like Fate Grand Order, or Grand Blue Fantasy, or Genshin Impact. but it does have a sizable community for what it is. Okay, and let's look at the Oninotate Shield. When armor is 60% or more, recover 20 armor gradually. So you give us all these other things, and this is where you decide to throw in the towel? Numbers wise as well, it doesn't... What the heck is this? Okay, so you get 2.2k melee attack, which is nice, but you get barely any defenses, which I guess doesn't really matter at the end of the day, just don't get hit. But the trait is absolutely worthless. Though I guess you can sub-slot in something decent. Okay, I like it. Lets you hit like a truck. Okay with that. Shield was made in 2020. Potentially. It might have been made pre-anniversary, honestly. Okay. So, I believe that is everything in the event blueprint shop looked over. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to hippity-hoppity over to Alterations and have our hearts broken. I really just want to get back to PSO2 right now. I was in the middle of farming my light stream, and then I remembered about this stream. Man. Not to animations. Well, last somebody mentioned the Twitter didn't have the videos up yet, but I haven't looked since, so there may actually be Twitter videos up. Yes, second here. G-Game, do you have the Twitter EX skills? Yes, no? Yes, you do. All right, so we're going to switch over to that then, guys. Give me just a second to get my desktop all set up here so we don't have a snafu. Cool. Okay. So, team, join me on this great adventure as we watch the Estrea F. Oops, didn't mean to hit the mic, but I do it every time. So, the torso. Okay, so it is dual cascade under a different name. And the awakening's your bog standard Trans Am. Okay, I want to look at this melee one again. So, spin the flail, swing it down. So it gives you some general area protection, but it seems like it does have a delayed activation trigger. Because as you can see, he's already spinning it and the enemy can still close in. So it's not like something reactionary to defend yourself, right? You're definitely going to have to pre-plan this one. And you smack whoever's in front of you. The damage numbers don't look that impressive either. And then you do a swing down, and that also doesn't look impressive. And to remember, typically when we see these demo videos, there are decent enough numbers behind them, so I'm kind of worried about the total damage output of this. And then, oh yeah, this is its friggin' the GM prototype blade and then GN hand missiles. Did it just like 180 in the air? It did too. Okay. So breaking this down, I mean turn on the audio. So you do your basic attack animation in front of you, locks you in, and then you immediately snap lock onto anyone with this if you kill your target. My two questions with this, a lot like I had in the past with another EX, he 360 no-scoped it. Much like I had a question before about another suit, can this aim low enough? Like if someone's below you, will the missiles hit? Can you be knocked out of this by getting attacked while you're doing this animation? Because this doesn't show you that part. It's interesting, but I think just general, the amount of time it takes for the entire thing to play out and the B- power total damage output, not for me. The flail that's on the legs, I'm not really a fan of this one either. as it's obviously locks you into an animation, and it doesn't really seem to give you a lot of return, you know? That's it, right? Yeah. And there's no way they have the Sengoku Estrea up, right? That'd be too nice. All right. Oh, gotta turn my stream thing back on. He took out 3 suits and 1 EX. Yeah, sure. And if I stacked a bunch of level 5 suits and used, or like low-end suits from the normal difficulty and used any EX skill, I could kill all 20 of them in one go. It doesn't matter how many they kill, it's the damage output, the numbers, the animation, like everything about it is what matters. Because, yeah, like for example, right? The Destiny Palma fucking Fiocina or whatever. That thing's really cool. It has 4 hits to it, each of them really powerful, right? Versus the, is it the Arius? Or no, it's the Artemis's Palma, where it fires the beam, significantly weaker, right? It comes down to a lot of factors with an EX skill, not how many things the demo video shows it can kill. Like Rolling Buster, it can kill a bunch of units, but like, if it did crap damage, who would care? Only because it does great damage and has the ridiculous AoE that it does. Okay. I think the knockup may be good for 1v1 in Circuit. It might be good, but that's the thing, is might. Alright? Considering Horror right now, people are either going to be really low or wanting to save up. Like, it's a standard part. You can always just wait a couple of weeks for someone that does like actual in-depth reviews to give you a better idea of a part. Because remember, I'm just doing impressions, just taking a general look at everything right at launch. It's why I am able to do this content, and you guys don't have to wait 3-4 days for me to upload a video where I talk about all the parts. Okay. So, let us take a look at all our alterated suits. What do we got here? So our blue frame and red frame got alterated. Cool. And then we have the Hyakushiki, Tall Goose, the Gujin. Okay, that's not that bad. So, as I do with most of the old welfare suits, or 3-star suits, I should narrow it down, I'm primarily going to be looking at what they added as a second trait and what they've done to the EX skill, because frankly the numbers on these suits are very, very difficult to salvage just because they start off very low to begin with. So Alteration plus 6-star marks 99% of the time doesn't bring it up to any reasonable level to compete with 4-star, 5-star parts that get alterated. So I will only really look in depth into the gacha suits that get alterations. So, we'll take a look at the blue. Eagle Stellan, well, alterated or not, you're trash. Moving along. That was quick, look at that, we're already done one part. While Force Space, shooting power boosted when attacking the physical melee power boosted. Very easy to activate Force Space. I don't like the tag very much though. It does give you a very small boost, 3%, 5% if you're... That was its old value. It's... Oh no, it's still 5%, 3 and 5, instead of 1 and 3. 1 and 3? 1 and 5? 1 and 3? It was 1 and 3, now it's 3 and 5. Anyways. Force Space. 5% boost to all attributes across the board when activated on a space map. Otherwise, 3%. Arguably, this could be very useful if you're on a space map. Otherwise, you're kind of losing out. But you do get a shooting power boost, and then you get a melee power boost, which I think is kind of silly because there's very few suits that'll really be able to pull off both melee and shot simultaneously. EX skills and all that kind of stuff, right? It's just not... It's not really a thing people do. I don't think it's personally worth alterating, just because it splits its investments there. With dual sabers category equipped, melee power boosted, back parts EX skill power boosted. Both of these are very, very nice. I approve of this, okay? This is good. A good start. And you know what? Numbers-wise, it's not a slouch either. These arms, when fully upgraded to the max, actually go on par with build project parts. These arms are worth investing into. This is one of those nice times. Yes, very good lah. So, isn't it an additional 5% to the flat 3%? Let me crack open force space here really. So, raise all parameters 3% while active. Space category gets an extra 5%. Ah, okay, so it is 3 and 8. That seems a little much. Then again, force space is a pretty rare map to run on. So the argument would be boiled down just mathematically, right? So let's say I'm running, instead of force space, I'm running, I don't know, a Federation. So I'm getting my shot boost and my shot defense boost. You know what? Let's make it simpler. Let's just give it like high firepower. 5% boost to one of your offensive stats, okay? So right away, flat, so any map, right? You're getting 5% versus the 3%. The sole exception is on force space maps. Now, if you remember the pool of maps in this game, the pool of maps that we have available to us, there's what? Two maps that are force space? Maybe 3 maps that are force space? Out of all the maps in the game. So if you're not on one of those maps, you're getting less of a offensive boost. Now, granted, you are getting an all boost, meaning your defense is boosted by 3% as well, and that'll carry over, so you're getting an extra percent. So instead of 3%, it's 4%. So one could make the argument that the 4 tags are still as useful. The thing is, though, more useful traits are activated by tags like high firepower, close combat, and the 5% boosters than they are by any of the 4X tags. So in certain scenarios, the 4 tags are better. Absolutely. But in general, you're getting a lesser offensive stat boost. Now remember, I totally go by the higher your offensive number is, the better. And that's really all that matters to me, right? Just think about it. If you were going to run a general suit, right, you wanted to have your defense and everything up, one of the 4 tags is actually probably going to be your better investment. As although you do lose on average about 1% or 2 on a stat, you gain more in all the other stats. So the overall boost is greater. So it just really depends on what you view as important in a suit. For me, glass cannon all the way. Defense comes later, who cares? If I can do more damage, I don't need no defense. But for people that are looking to build a balanced suit, looking to break 2.6, 2.7 million C power on their suit, probably going to want to bring up all your number. You can't choose maps in this game, that's true. What did you get for your lucky bag tickets? Well, I streamed it all through my Discord, actually. I threw out a ping and I rolled all of my lucky bag stuff through the Discord. So if you were on Discord at the time and you tuned in, awesome. Otherwise, well, join the Discord so you don't miss out the next time I do something like that. Because I randomly do just hop into my Discord channels and stream stuff. Not often, but I do it. Anyways, back to what we were doing. We were talking about the arms and the force space stuff, were we not? No, we had just talked about that with the torso. I was looking at the arms and how amazing they were for what they are. Legs, Serpent Bite, B+, B+. All right, so this is one of those things where it locks you into a skill animation and you're leaving yourself open. So even though the B+, B+ looks really nice, honestly, I think the demerits to what it actually does makes it not worth investing into. The numbers are nice, but they are outshone by things like build projects and Sokai and whatnot. So if you want to use your stuff to upgrade it, go ahead. It's not like the legs are going to give you crappy stats, but maybe just wait for a bullseye, get something that can be alterated, and spend your stuff on that instead and get the better numbers. Isn't Serpent Bite a cutscene? It may be one of the very few EX skills that has a 3-second initial cooldown, 21-second general that is a cutscene, like the RE2 Amatu and whatnot, but I doubt it. It's been a long time since the blue frame was added, so I don't remember a ton about it. Tactical Arms 2 SD. There's our cutscene. Very nice. Raise melee attack by 39% and shot attack boost. So this is, again, I brought this up, I think like 3 weeks ago now, where when you split the boost between melee and shot, you lose numbers. Right now, to my knowledge, the highest single boost to your melee from a skill like this is 49%. So this gives you 39% because it also boosts shot attack. If it didn't boost the shot attack as well, this would push up to 49. So if the 10% means a ton to you, sit on your stuff, wait for something to come out that can push up to 49. Otherwise, why not? This is actually second best. So there you go. And don't think second best is bad. When you think about it, even the suits that have like 70,000 defensive stats, right, like 10% and 7k. At that damage value, who cares? Rex back 59%. It should be. Should be. The Rex backpack was absolute bonkers. Alright, Armor Schneider. When a multi-mission sortie, initial EX skill charge boost. Useful for multi-missions. Useless for everything else. When attacking with physical, melee power boosted. Useful for most melee EX skills. I just don't like that first trait very much, but if you're looking for something to use in multi-missions, here you go. Numbers-wise, breaks 10k, ace exclusive close combat. Why does it have ace exclusive? Like, okay, I guess Guy was an ace, but like, why you gotta do this? Yeah, he wasn't a pro tag, but like, high firepower? I can't, no, because the second revise wasn't really a high firepower. Hi. Okay, let's look at the red frame, yeah? Eagle Stellan, wow! Moving right along, gentlemen. Mixed boost is fine in co-op, your shot teammates can actually use it. Yeah, but then as soon as one of them uses something that gives, you know, shot or at 39%, yours is completely nullified. And because most people that are running a specialized cutscene-esque suit will have something that boosts 39, 49% as their big, you know, buff EX or whatever, like, sure, but yours is a stopgap until theirs is activated and then yours gets overwritten, so it's not really... Yeah, anyways. When armor is 60% or less, 80% or less melee power boosted, and in-fighter job EX skill CD reduced. I don't really like that you have to lose armor for this to be effective, but there is a way to technically cheese this. So, some of you may know that a mechanic was recently changed. Before, we were unable to sortie if our total team cost, or squad cost, went above our limit. But now, we're able to, at the cost of losing 20 or 25% of our armor, which would activate this trait either way. So you could technically just run 3 extremely high cost suits and immediately have access to that trait. You'd obviously lose access to anything that requires, you know, armor above 80%, but there is a way to cheese everything. Whether or not that's a good thing is up in the air. Moving on. I don't really like these two traits. It's very easy to get in-fighter job, so your EX skill CD reduction, that's pretty much a guarantee, but I'm not really a fan of the armor 80% or less. Personally, I find that whenever something requires you to be damaged or take damage, you're just putting yourself at risk of getting like O-code by an EX or something like that, so not my cup of tea. The actual effects are good, I just don't like the requirement on the second one that much. The old go over cost and bring a heal anyways. That won't work though, because your armor has to be below or at 80% for that to activate. Once you heal past 80%, it's not going to be active anymore. Rotate, close combat, 2 very nice tags. Stat-wise, you're looking at about 2100 melee attack on the torso. Not bad for an alterated part. Not bad at all. I think the lupus was like, what, 2600 or something like that? So this is definitely getting up there. It's definitely getting up there for what it is. Arms. Oh, the penalty was 50 before. Okay. Charge arms with beam energy, then attack with rush. Lower enemy physical resist, blah. DA-, not a cutscene. Rotate close combat, nice tags. And numbers-wise, pushing pretty much the same as the blue frame. You're pushing 10k with the arms after all the mods and stuff are taken into effect. Not bad. I don't really like the EX skill that much. Maybe someone can enlighten me onto why Lightning Ball is good, but from what I see here, it's something that can easily whiff, and you're just asking to be punished. Tags are good, numbers are good. I'm just not really sure how to feel about the EX skill. Sukiya's favorite skill in the game. That's not really the... But okay, if Sukiya likes it, and he's like the biggest melee guy I know for the stuff in this game, I'm going to assume it's good. So overall, then, the arms are nice. Fast and strong, doesn't miss. That's good to hear. Bisect. Well, we all know. Heal, melee attack boost, DS, there's no complaints, pro tag for urban area, and it's got numbers. The Bisect has just arguably been like the best EX skill for melee, because it has a stupid amount of heals, really good buff, lots of damage. So, you see it a lot. Level 10 stab. Get at me, bruh. Alright, the numbers are a little lower, I think, than what we would want from an alterated part, but considering it holds, like, the bread and butter EX skill for melee builds. Now, granted, not everyone runs Bisect, and you don't need to run Bisect for your suit to be good. It's just something that you see very, very often, as it was, like, the first real powerful EX skill that we had access to. And people have long since got it to EX10, and most likely the legs have been fully upgraded because we've had them since practically launch, if not launch. So, yeah. Backpack. Double Saber Rush, A-D. If this is anything like all the other double saber skills in this game, no thank you. Pro tag for urban area, and the numbers are okay for what it is. So I'm gonna say pretty much like pro tag for this one. Like, okay, it does have like 2k melee attack after all the mods are taken into account, but like we have access to a lot of after full mods, higher numbered suits than that. So yeah. So arms and the leg seem to be kind of the go-to here. Gerber straight. A plus B plus, unleash a barrage of attacks. That's gonna animation lock you. Numbers wise, breaks 10k though. So maybe I wouldn't personally, because the EX skill is kind of what you're investing a lot into upgrading more so than the numbers and stuff. So if the EX skill is not like really, really good, then personally I feel like you're wasting your tools. So each to their own on that one though. Okay. Look and EX skill are tied together. If you upgrade your EX level, it affects your suit stats. Like, I guess indirectly, that's true. When you increase the EX skill power of a suit, it doesn't directly affect the numbers, but it does increase the total level cap of the part, which means when you level it all the way up, you'll be able to get extra stats out of it. So indirectly, I think it's true. Skins do nothing for your numbers. Skins are purely for the EX skills. So what you do is on your actual suit, when I'm done all this, I'll show you an example of custom skin. Like when I'm doing my outro, just remind me. How do you rise job letter grades? Use pilots, raise their proficiency. Anyways, in fighter job, enemy shooting power reduced when speed attribute, buff EX skill up. I don't like either of those. I think both of those traits are delegated best to a support suit, if at all. So I would not alterate this part, frankly. The numbers behind it, though, are nice. Does give a lot of melee attack. Pro tag's nice as well. I don't really think the traits make it worth investing into, but each to their own. Okay. That was interesting. We definitely saw some real, like, the blue frame was more or less panned when it came out as, like, mediocre to bad at best. But those arms are pretty dope. All right, so we're gonna go through all the 3 stars. I'm literally just gonna be looking at the trait / EX on these ones. So, head-mounted Vulcan, garbage. I don't even have to read anything further than that. Place exclusive, enemy melee to nope, and shooting power boost. So that second tag, very nice. Our second trait, very nice. First trait, no, miss me with that. It may be useful for the second trait if you lack anything better for the torso, as this does bring the very, very nice commander tag to shot builds, because commander gives you the 10% boost, and it gives you an extra shooting power boost as well. So yeah, potentially, depending on what you have available for the torso. Arms. Beam Saber combo. No thank you, that's going to animation lock you. E+ power is not going to save that one, I don't think. With bazooka category, shot spread reduced. Oh, wow. Shooting crit rate boosted. Oh, no thank you. No. Ace exclusive, enemy shooting power boost. Okay, so when the enemy is ace exclusive, you're going to get a shooting power boost and 50% chance to reduce vernier consumption when stepping. That second trait, I don't really like that very much. Yeah, I definitely don't like it very much. And the first trait is very, very situational, as you require a specific enemy type. Like, you might be able to use it a lot when we get a ace exclusive arena or something like that, or battle circuit, but like, beyond that, it's not really doing it for me, Chief. Weapon. Beam Saber. Oh, yeah, and we also have update news, great. B+D, beam resist reduction. No thank you, that's going to be another animation lock. Beam Rifle, EX skill power boost and initial EX skill charge boost when you're middle shooter. This is nice, this is a good upgrade. This takes something that was already good when attacking with beam, your EX skill power is boosted, and then adds something of equal value to it. When you have a middle shooter job, which is actually relatively common in the higher ends of things, you get an initial EX skill charge boost. Considering this was a welfare, and people that were there for it most likely have it at EX10, I don't really see a reason why not to get something like this for a shooter build. Okay. Oh, Clay Bazooka. Can't forget the Clay Bazooka. Dual Wave, A, B-. Nope. That's Dual Cascade. Well, thank you. Offense Up Alpha, raise melee and shot attack. Now remember, this is for your suit only. This isn't for allied suits or squad or anything. This is purely for you. Granted, this is the highest available modifier, so if you're looking for a very quick pocket buff, that's your ticket. Don't forget, this is an alpha skill. This will stack with awakenings. It will stack with the buffs you get from most cutscene EX skills as well. So food for thought. Royal Heart is good. Is it good? All right. I don't remember ever using it myself. I just look at the cooldown generally to figure whether it's a cutscene or not, and then I look at the values behind it in the general description. If you just dash forward with a beam saber, like very quickly forward, okay. But if it's something that has a long wind-up time, a lot like what I explained before with the how long it takes for the animation to begin and everything like that, if it is very quick return time, then cool. But if it has a long animation stuck on it, like double saber rush or stuff like that, It's a tackle. Oh, that's lovely. Anyways, a very nice buff. Very nice buff on this. Very, 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 very nice. Torso. While force space, EX skill piercing boost in a force space enemy. That's very rare. With technique attribute self shooting power boosted. I like the second trait. I don't like the first trait very much. But if you like the first trait, overall it looks like a pretty good suit. Alright, what'd they do to the Dober? A minus B. Yeah, wow. Wowee. Okay. Selfie. That's a way to describe it. Now, the Dober gun, if you've never used this EX skill before, you pretty much instantaneously fire a relatively decent sized beam from one end of the map to the other. Hits once. I think it's hit twice a couple of times, rarely. Anyways, very quick, to the point. I don't know if this upgrade is going to be really worth it though. It is a pseudo cutscene, meaning there is a animation behind it, but it's purely getting into a quick position and firing it off, then it goes on a long cooldown. I don't know if B power really justifies doing the alteration for this or not. As pre-alteration, it didn't hit terribly hard, though. Potentially, right? It was B+, but even the numbers behind it really aren't that great either. What, 6500, so that's 2k, so it has like 3k shot attack for an integrated. Stupid high melee attack though. Pushes up to just under 10k. Commander and long range. To me, it pretty much banks on how much the Dober gun actually got upgraded by. So yeah, literally just boils down to Dober gun, whether or not the upgrade really did anything to it, which you can't really tell unless you test it on a good build. With force space enemy, mid-shot attack raised. No thank you, that's for neutrals. With technique attribute self, enemy EX skill penetration reduced. Not really a fan of either of those traits, frankly. The latter means that their EX skill pierce boosting or anything like that is more or less negated. Backpack might be useful if you're running arena. With force space, enemy shooting power boosted 25% and melee power boost. Another one of those things where it kind of splits the buffs. I don't like it when it does that at all. At all. Plus, it's very rare to run into a force space enemy. So you don't really have much control over that one. Okay, and the Gujin. Head-mounted Vulcan and flare. Fancy. No thanks. Buster Anchor DB+. Yeah, so this is effectively like a shotgun. Is the best way to describe it. So I don't think Zand has a level 10 buff skill. I do somewhere. I think it's the sumo head that I have at level 10. It's only because it was very easy to get to level 10. Maybe I have more than that? Anyways, it's a shotgun. You get up real close, you fire it. It's not going to be a cutscene X. The numbers behind it really aren't that amazing. It does have heavy armor, for what that's worth, I guess. But yeah. Could be worse, I guess. I wouldn't do it. Gemini satellite. Ah, yes, the original energy bits. Well, not the original, because the new Verka was in the game, but this was a very early event suit, if I remember correctly. A-, B-. Fortunately, it will run into the problem that all bits and funnels have. They're just not offensive enough. Hand grenade, DB+. Throw a hand grenade. I don't know what I was expecting, frankly. Okay. Backpack. That's where we are. The Guzhin Hammer, DB+, and you swing it like a madman. That's gonna skill lock, or animation lock you, no thanks. Weapon. Spinning Rave. Lower the enemy shot attack, DB+. Pretty much just what I said about the other one. It's just gonna lock you into an animation, really. Tell that to the Guzhin in Battle Circuit. Yeah, well, you know what? Battle Circuit cheats. It's a lot like the hardest AI in StarCraft. It doesn't tell you it does it, but it cheats. Defender job, enemy shooting power reduced. Okay, yes, that was nice. With power attribute, job gauge boosted. That is not nice. This is definitely kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, pick up the original, probably not alterate it, you know? You diggy? You're not really adding much with alteration on that. Okay. So that's those three looked at. Hyakushiki, Guzhin, and the Goose. We looked at the other guys. Okay, so is there anything left then? Alterations, event blueprints, gacha, well, and the new build project. I think that's it. You guys have anything else in mind? Because if not, I'm going to quickly pop over and look at custom skins really quickly, just to give an example of it. Yes, custom skin, right. Okay, so. God, my phone is just running hot. I could cook an egg on this sucker. So, where did I put it? What did I... Oh, right, it's under free. Okay, so. This is the suit that I'm currently using with a custom skin. As you can see, the parts that I have here are clearly not what's printed on the tin. Surprise. So, the reason I've done this, now granted, this is not a fully optimized suit, mind you. This is something I kind of slapped together a couple of weeks ago just to kind of play with custom skins a little bit. See what I could do with it. So, you can look at the word tags, or not word tags, the traits that I've activated here. I get shooting power boosts a lot of places here. I get EX skill cooldown reductions, skill power boosts, all sorts of things down the board. Right? On the second tab, there's a couple more boosts on here. Like I said, it's not optimized yet. I have a lot of work to do on this one, but again, this is more of a test than anything. So, anyways, the entire point of a custom skin here is to apply the EX skills to the table. If I go and look at my custom skins here, good, it didn't take like literally forever to load. Custom skin 1. So, this is what I've done to it. I've gone and applied the parts. They give me the EX skills that I wanted from it, which is the NTD from the Phoenix, the Dragoon system from the Legend, and the full armed attack from the full armor unicorn turned into a skin. Literally the entire point of a custom skin is to apply those EX skills on top of your existing suit. None of the stats get carried over, nothing gets carried over, only the EX skills. That's the entire point of it. So when you're building a suit with a custom skin in mind, you put the EX skills that you want on the custom skin, and then you put parts that have traits and things like that in the stats underneath. So when you apply the skin, you have all the stuff you want, and it looks the way you want. Probably. But anyways, that's pretty much the entire point of it. The other custom skin I have is the, where was it? It was in my standard list, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, here. So what I've done is I really, really like the Zaku Phantom. I mentioned this when it came out, and I was talking and gushing about how much I love the design of this suit. So, what I did was I built a suit that has a whole bunch of reduction skills on it, and I applied the custom skin that I really want. So, yeah. That's pretty much the entire point of custom skins. That's literally it. You just build a stat/trait machine, and then you slap a custom skin on with the X skills on top. And that way you have 3 extra slots worth of traits. That's it. Super simple, super straightforward. Actually, when you first go to it, it kind of lines it all out for you and kind of explains it all. So, anyways. So that's really it then. Nothing left to go over. Good talk, guys. So, I'm going to wrap up the video here. Wow, it's almost 11:30. Jesus Christ. I'm going to play a little bit more PSO2 before I go to sleep, so yeah, shouldn't have any more content until Sunday, most likely, for the next discussion video that I do for the new content. Unless something really weird. Oh, the update. The update. Version 2.2 update announcement. No, you already had 2.2. Hey, go away. Where are you at? No, just the website? Just the website. Okay. Let's see here. Ah, yeah. When was this posted? Was this actually posted like today? No, that was December 28th. General news. What the heck? Oh no, this is definitely new stuff. Okay. So this was posted on the 28th of December, but it seems somehow I missed it in my big brain moves. So let's talk about the 2.3 update, shall we? Desktop. Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. You can open it yourself. It's under the news section of their site. Anyways, so let's see. Let's start right at the top. We appreciate each and every one of you, as long as we keep rolling the gacha, am I right? Okay, so the 1.5 year anniversary coming up at the end of January. Alright, cool. So, we get a lavish campaign in late January. We get capsule tickets for up to 210 pulls. Ooh, that's going to be nice for the AI gacha. And items. You can go ahead and get hyped now. Why do I feel like Nick wrote this? We're also planning a new multi-mission, a large mobile armor. God, do I ever hope it's the Destroy, but I know it's not, because that would be too nice. You guys got any guesses as to what large mobile armors are still missing? It's probably going to be like something from like one of the older series, one of the big old ones. Because we have, what? Satan, we have a big old turtle guy. I remember his name for the life of me. Zam, yeah, that was it. Dendrobium, oh my god, can you imagine? That'd be a hell of a fight. Absidus, Psycho, Hashmal. Hashmal would actually be like thematic. I know a lot of people want to see the Psycho Gundam fight though, so the screenshot is sus. It is. It looks round in nature. I see a Destroy Gundam in there, but there's nothing. There's actually like nothing telling. So, best we got's guesses. All right, 2.3 update. What do we got? New part enhancement feature. You can earn part EXP, part trait. You're telling me we don't need to pay for the subscription anymore? That's great. You can put up to 3 parts in the enhancement feature and earn just by logging in daily. Now, yes, you can still sortie using parts that are being enhanced. That's what I was worried about, was that you would put it in there to level it up and you would be restricted from using it until you took it out. That's nice. That's nice. Oh god, that's so nice. At the moment, crew chat, only blah, 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 but we'll be adding free text input. Okay, so if you guys remember, the reason that they originally said they weren't going to do this was because they were afraid people were going to abuse it, send messages with profane text and things like that. And I guess they realized very, very quickly after rolling this out that players kind of like being able to talk to each other. And although there are going to be the few, the malcontents that are kind of, not the nicest people on earth, like, kind of need to have that little bit of freedom with communicating with people. So, yeah, it's good that they're doing it. I just think it was kind of a really odd decision to say we're going to be restrictive about this in the first place. Please refrain. And that's all we can tell you about the 2.3 update. So all they've confirmed is the increasing the traits and everything, which is really good though. Ooh, certain conditions must be met to unlock the new features. I wonder what we're going to have to do. What hoops? You must clear a battle circuit in under 10 minutes. Oh, that'd be savage. All right. And free text. All right. Gift to celebrate the publication of this leather. Okay, so they're sending them out. Box expansion tickets. 100. We don't need more skip. Okay, I guess newer players need skip tickets, but I have like 60,000 of them now. I really don't need any more. Anyways. All right. Cool. Shit posting in chat. Okay. So anyways, guys, yeah, that's it. There's nothing left. We've milked all the content we can possibly milk for today. So I'm going to sign out. I got other stuff I want to do this evening. I will see you guys all Sunday for the normal discussion stream, not stream video that I'm going to do. Maybe I'll make something in between now and then. I doubt it, though. Anyways, peace out, guys, and see you in the next one.